This is Valley News Live at 10.
And we begin tonight with breaking news. Police in East Grand Forks have now found a missing person who they sent out a release about earlier tonight.
They say Tyler John Motz left his group home in the northern part of East Grand Forks shortly after 7 o'clock this morning. He was found in downtown Grand Forks around 8:30 this evening and safely returned to his home.
Now, meanwhile, police spent much of the day combing the Red River in and around Grand Forks after a person disappeared while swimming in the frigid temperatures.
East Grand Forks police told us they were treating these as two separate cases, but they haven't ruled out that they may be connected. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling has the latest.
Crews spent Friday using sonar equipment and drag lines along the Red River near Grand Forks. Earlier in the day, a witness called police saying they saw someone in the river but lost sight of them.
It's about getting rapid deployment, and when we get reports of somebody in the river, and getting down there and in the water as quickly as we can to help.
According to Grand Forks Fire Chief Gary Lorenz, the river temperature was around 35 degrees, and due to the melting ice, the river was flowing quickly. Lorenz says that spells disaster for anyone in the water, as hypothermia can set in rather quickly. He advises people to just avoid going near the water at all.
Even if you're very careful, could slip into those rivers, and in that current, it can catch you very fast. So I think the biggest thing you can do is avoid it altogether.
And keep your pets away too.
Stay away from those river shores. I know people like to walk pets down in those areas, but just keep them on the leash and stay away so that you're not subjected to those slippery riverbanks.
Polk and Grand Forks County Sheriff's offices were there alongside Grand Forks and East Grand Forks fire departments. Lorenz spoke on the importance of working with these other departments, especially during potential cold water rescues.
And having those relationships is vital, because the more resources we can put together, the better it is for all of us.
In East Grand Forks, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Stick with Valley News Live on Facebook and your VNL News app for the latest on the search.
All right, let's talk about the weather now. The weekend is here and it starts out looking pretty good. Here's Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with details. Hutch.
Starting out is the key phrase there, looking real good as we close out Friday with improved conditions heading into Saturday. But we want to take this opportunity to let you know that there's some more hitches in the proverbial giddy-up. First alert weather day for Sunday for a weather-making system that could bring some snow to some of us by Monday morning. But the big storm looks to be impacting the region on Wednesday and Thursday. That could be significantly impactful with wind. Now, the Sunday system makes its way in and will mainly impact our southern and eastern counties. Not all of us will see snow. Most of us will see rain from this, but by the Monday morning time frame, some of us will have some slippery snow to drive through. Wednesday, actually Tuesday night, this system gets started with increasing wind and bands of heavy snow. Wind over 40 miles per hour will persist into early Thursday morning. There'll be Thursday impacts as well as the system eventually exits off to the east. Some models have it lingering until Friday. Here's a look at the first round. Round one, we'll call it, for Sunday. So after a nice and quiet Saturday, we have rain in the southern valley. Then as we go through the latter portion of the day, it starts mixing with snow in the elevated terrain down to the south. And in Minnesota, as we go through the overnight hours, we could get some accumulation going on. So this area here will have the best chance of a little bit of accumulation as we go to the weekend. And we're talking a couple of inches of that wet, sticky, slushy snow out there for some on the Monday morning commute. Hour by hour details on that second round, which is pretty impressive storm system rolling out of the Colorado Rockies once again. Details on that in a moment.
Plenty to keep our eyes on. Thank you, Hutch.
Yeah.
New tonight at 10, both a man and woman were arrested in South Grand Forks today after police were called to a domestic disturbance. It happened in the 600 block of 41st Avenue South. Officers say they saw a man and woman outside arguing, saw the man holding a handgun, then throwing it into a garage. After speaking with the woman and gathering evidence, officers arrested 33-year-old Rolando Garza Jr. on terrorizing charges. Police say the woman, 41-year-old Macon Davis, was also arrested for disorderly conduct after threatening another man at the scene.
Also new tonight, Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension agents arrested a former police chief in Alexandria following a year-long investigation into alleged financial crimes.
Valley News Team's Alex Larson joins us now live in studio with details. Alex?
Thank you to you. Police Chief Richard Weifels, who retired in September of 2020, has been charged by complaint with felony theft by swindle and was booked into the Douglas County Jail. According to the criminal complaint you can see behind me, the Minnesota BCA uncovered a significant amount of purchases Chief Weifels made using his city-issued credit card, worth more than $65,000, including TVs, computers, cell phones, and an iPad. The complaint says many of these items were the type to go to the city's IT department, but the former chief was never asked to make these purchases, and none of those items were given to the department. The report says investigators don't know what he did with every item, but some were recovered from him, while others he resold for money, sometimes even on eBay. His PayPal account had descriptions of items he had sold that matched the ones he had unlawfully bought. The BCA says there were also a significant number of fuel purchases that exceeded the maximum number of gallons his squad car held. The complaint says his authority to authorize his own fraudulent activity on the card, combined with the high number of small value items, makes it difficult for the BCA to recover everything. He's facing up to 20 years and or a $100,000 fine for the misuse. You can read that full report on our website. Stacy, Justin.
Thanks so much, Alex. And meanwhile, an audit of the Gwinner Fire Department found that it used public money to purchase liquor, food, and golf outings for its volunteers and staff. The state auditor says it spent more than $28,000 of public funding from 2015 to 2020. Fire officials say the funds used for those purchases came from raffle ticket sales, and the money was kept in a separate bank account. However, the auditor says that's still considered public money.
The West Fargo high-rise is an affordable rental housing option for the people of Cass County. Some residents there, though, say it's becoming a dangerous place to live.
There are drunks wandering the halls, people breaking in to the building at night when the doors are supposed to be locked. People being harassed, people being stabbed.
The executive director of the Housing Authority of Cass County, Derek Johnson, says they have since installed security measures in the building, cameras, deadbolts, a key fob system, and as they've only received a few actual complaints or reports from tenants since the first of the year.
When you talk about safety protocols, they're as good and as effective as tenants utilizing them. These doors will lock, and they'll only unlock with a fob or somebody opening the door from inside.
The Housing Authority says they also have plans in place to install upgraded lighting around the building as well.
An update now to a story we first told you last night at 10. One man was arrested last night after a search warrant was executed by the Red River Valley SWAT team in South Fargo. Fargo police originally said several people were arrested, but today we learned several were detained, then later released. Only one man was arrested, 41-year-old Roberto Sandoval. He faces charges for possession of meth and heroin with intent to deliver. An update now on the man found dead in Traverse County earlier this week. Officials say 29-year-old Benjamin Eagle died after punching out windows of two different homes. The sheriff's office says Eagle sustained severe injuries to his arm from the broken glass, but he didn't seek treatment. A short time later, he was found dead.
Minnesota is projected to have a $9 billion budget surplus this year. And this week, the Minnesota Senate passed a plan designed to use that money to cut taxes on income and Social Security benefits. Meanwhile, Democrats have their own proposal. Caroline Cummings breaks down the competing ideas.
As Minnesotans face pain at the gas pump and growing costs for groceries and other goods, Minnesota lawmakers are weighing competing tax proposals to buoy family budgets.
Our state coffers are full, but yet Minnesotans are struggling.
On Thursday, the Senate approved a GOP proposal that would slash the first-tier tax rate from 5.35% to 2.8%, impacting 2.4 million taxpayers. And if you make between $30,000 and $100,000 a year, you could see between $500 and $900. The largest tax benefit goes to the highest earners, and the bill also eliminates taxes on Social Security income.
We feel that it's very, very important to put more money in the pockets of working Minnesotans every single paycheck.
Over in the House, Democrats have a different idea, and it doesn't include cutting rates at all. They say it zeroes in on those who need a tax break the most.
We think the bill that we're presenting takes those dollars that we have in a very targeted and significant way and get to our young families, our workers, and our senior citizens.
Their plan eliminates Social Security taxes for some, boosts tax credits for housing, student loans, and children, and includes one-time direct payments of $325 per kid under 17.
The concept is the same as Governor Walz, is that We are providing a one-time check that would get out this summer to help families with children.
The same concept, but not the governor's pitch. Walls checks got the axe in both bills. Caroline Cummings, WCCO 4 News.
And that Walls checks proposal included $500 in one-time rebates to single filers, $1,000 to married couples, but again, they are not included in either of the Democrat or Republican proposals.
New tonight, 2 North Dakota Army National Guardsmen are being credited for rescuing several people from drowning along the southern border. Specialists Luis Alvarado and Grayson Clem have been serving in Texas since last fall. They were conducting surveillance when they observed 5 migrants attempting to cross the Rio Grande River. They grabbed nylon rope, lifelines, and swam a line out to help the people that were struggling. They rescued 2 people as the other 3 managed to get to safety.
Still ahead tonight, the latest on COVID numbers and now how they're now affecting the White House.
But next, we have a lot of weather to talk about. Hey, there is some good in there, but yes, we are not able to shake the wintry weather as we look in on Grand Forks. A quiet night for a change as the wind has taken a little bit of a break, but that won't last forever either. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast. Join me. Weather is next.